Hey, what's up guys, it's TechZoomer talking to you here. And in today's video, I want to talk about Apple's Scary Fast event. Because it's just finished and it was crazy. This video is coming out on Tuesday, so tomorrow for me, today for you. Because in today's video, I want to talk about what's new on this Scary Fast event. Firstly, Apple broke its record for the fastest event ever on an event called Scary Fast. Pretty funny. But still, this event unveiled so many new things, from the M3 lineup, which is super cool, the M3 iMac, and new MacBook Pros. So, if you are excited, drop a like down below, subscribe to the channel, let's get started. So, as you know, Apple released new chips today. Apple released the M3, the M3 Pro, and the M3 Max. Like I predicted in yesterday's video, I thought that the M3 was going to be a big change to the lineup. And it ended up being a big change. Apple released the M3. The M3 is a new architecture, a 3nm chip. This chip will be more efficient and more powerful than the M2. One thing that it was quite funny to see on the event, and I was not actually realizing it until the first 15 minutes, is that Apple was not comparing the M3 until the M2. No, they were comparing the M3 to the M1. And that's pretty interesting because if you think about it, Apple is not comparing directly this generation, the new generation, against the older one. No, they are comparing the M3 to the first generation Apple Silicon. So they are choosing their real audience, their real targets really well. And then after that, after all the comparisons, they said that this is perfect for all Intel users. All Intel machines are 11 times slower than these M3 Max.
And with the M3 family of chips, it gets even better, making it a monster upgrade for anyone still on an Intel-based MacBook Pro.
So, kind of makes sense why they are doing this. They are choosing their targeted audience really, really well. They are saying these Macs are not for ones that bought the M2s. No, they are not even kind of a stretch for those that bought the M1. But it's a big upgrade for those Intel machines. I think this will be the last year that Apple is still targeting the older Intel customers, because I think those will upgrade this year. No more Intel machines in the lineup. I think Apple is ready completely to kill all its Intel machines and Intel support in the next few years. So they are supporting the upgrade from the Intel older machines to the new M3 MacBooks. And so all the comparisons that they did, they compared it to the M1, so it didn't sound that bad when compared to the Intel, but they said that it's perfect for the Intel upgrade. Again, they did not compare it to the M2. And you can see it on their graphs, because on their graphs, they show the difference between the M3 and the M2. And the difference is like 15% on CPU and 20% on GPU. Over the year upgrades, very small ones, but the normal ones, the ones that you actually expect, the same that it was from the M2 to the M1. So we are scaling up really well. Each year we get about 15% more CPU, 20% more GPU. So again, when compared to the M1, this M3 chip gets a 30% bump on the CPU performance and about a 40 to 60% jump on the GPU. Especially the GPU is the biggest upgrade because of ray tracing and all of the technology that Apple introduced with these new GPU performances. Because of the A17 Pro chip found on the iPhone 15 Pro Max, we can take most of the conclusions. Apple was saying that the M3 has ray tracing. Also, they talked about a new method that they use on the GPU to increase the efficiency of the performance scores and the performance of the GPU. So, again, if you took all the graphs that Apple shows, like all those vague graphs, you can understand that this M3 will be about 40% faster than the M1 using the same power performance metric, and I would say 20% faster than the M2. So, it's still really fast and will be the fastest Mac ever. But if you have bought the M2 MacBook Pros, like the M2 MacBook Pro on January, or the M2 Pro MacBook Pro in January, or the M2 Max, especially these machines that came out this year, so it's not that bad. Like, the damage is not that bad to your wallet. Again, you bought the computers on January or February, and now Apple on October releases a new one. Again, it's bad, I know, for the resale value, but at least the performance is not that big. As for the efficiency, Apple promises 22 hours of battery life for the 16-inch MacBook Pro and 18 hours of battery life for the 14-inch MacBook Pro. This is about the same performance efficiency that we saw on the older machines. But Apple did not stop there. They actually surprised us with something new in this event. They released the 14-inch MacBook Pro with the M3, not just the M3 Pro and the M3 Max. This is new because Apple killed the M3 MacBook Pro 13-inch, or the supposed 13-inch MacBook Pro. They did not give it the M3, they killed that older design, and they released the 14-inch MacBook Pro, the same computer as the M3 Pro and M3 Max, but with the M3 chip, starting at $1,600. This machine has 512 gigabytes of base storage, has 8 gigabytes of RAM, and it has the M3 chip. So, yeah, it's the cheapest MacBook Pro on the lineup now, but has the same display, the same mini LED display, which now is brighter, 100 nits brighter than the older mini LED display. It's still a mini LED display. It has ProMotion technology. So I think that all positives for people now buying MacBook Pros. Now, if you don't want that extra performance, but you want that extra good hardware that these MacBook Pros now have, you have the option to go for the M3 chip, which will be more powerful probably than the M1 Pro, or even close to the M2 Pro. So at the end of the day, it's a really good price for the 14-inch MacBook Pro. I would compare this computer to a refurbished M1 Pro MacBook Pro. Again, the only disadvantage that this computer has over the 14-inch MacBook Pro with the M3 Pro is it has one less USB-C port, because probably the M3 doesn't have controllers for 3 USB-C ports, only has controllers for 2 USB-C ports. But it still has the HDMI port, still has the SD card slot, so it's still an amazing option, in my opinion, the best value Mac on the lineup right now. But again, if you move up the lineup, you go find the M3 Pro and the M3 Max. The M3 Pro kept about the same price, and the M3 Max go up in price this event. So I think we need to analyze all of these on the MacBook lineup. But before we do that, I just want to show you this amazing space black color that was released to the 14-inch and 16-inch MacBook Pro, replacing the older space gray. Now, the only place you can find the space gray color on the MacBook Pro is on the 14-inch MacBook Pro with the M3, not the M3 Pro and M3 Max. Those only have the silver and the space black options. But let's take a look to the MacBook Pro lineup, and I will show you what I mean. So if you go into the MacBook lineup, the Mac website, and click on the MacBook Pro first, because this is the new part of the Mac lineup, you will be greeted with the new stunning space black color. And again, starts at $1,600, which is quite weird. But going to the Order Now page, and you have two options, the 14-inch and the 16-inch size, no more M2 MacBook Pro 13-inch. And this is fun because on the 14-inch you can choose which chip do you want. Do you want the M3, do you want the M3 Pro, or the M3 Max? Again, click all to start analyzing the actual lineup, of course. You have the $1,600 base option MacBook Pro. This has 8-core GPU, 10-core GPU, and 8 gigabytes of unified RAM. This is the base storage model, 8 gigabytes of RAM on a MacBook Pro in 2023. I don't think this is a big issue, simply because most people don't need more than 8 gigabytes of unified RAM. This is not normal RAM. 8 gigabytes of unified RAM is much more efficient than normal RAM. But again, starts at 512 gigabytes of storage. And this is a very big thing because before, the M2 MacBook Pro 13-inch started at 256 gigabytes of storage. And that actually meant that that computer would be more $200 to match these specs. And the only difference now is about $100. And you get ProMotion 120 Hz mini LED display, the new design, much better speakers, much better design, in my opinion. So this is, in my opinion, a very good deal, the base model MacBook Pro. Of course, we need to wait for the reviews, but until I can recommend it, I'm just saying, if you don't need much performance, but you like the new design of the MacBook Pros, don't waste your money, go for this base model $1,600 computer. It's really good option. Again, you can jump over to a better performance one with the M3 chip, and then you have the M3 Pro, starting at $1,999, with a little bit less performance scores, but you still have more RAM than the other M2 Pro base model storage. Now you have 18 gigabytes of unified RAM, and before you had, I think, 16. So it's not a bad deal. I mean, it's the same price. You get about a bit more RAM. You don't get as much cores as before. Before you had, I think you had a 12-core CPU. You have now 5 performance cores and 6 efficiency. Before you had 6. Not big of a deal. The new space black color, the old silver color, sorry for that. And then you have the space gray on the M3s. So if you prefer the space gray, your only option is the M3. But if you do like the space black, you'll need to go for the M3 Pro or higher. Of course, you have more options. The normal 12-core CPU and the 18-core GPU with the 18 unified memory and 1 TB of storage, this is actually a very good deal. For $400 more, you get one more performance core if you really need that extra performance, but you especially get double the storage. And 18 GB of memory, RAM, will be more than enough. Currently, on my MacBook Pro with the M1 Max, I have 32, and it's way more than, like, it's plenty. I don't need more than that. So this, in my opinion, is $100 cheaper than last year. It's a very, very good deal. Before, with the M2 Pro, this configuration started at $24.99. Now starts at $23.99, so $100 reduction in US. But this is a very big but. If you are watching outside the US right now, then take in mind that the prices took a huge jump. In my country, in Portugal, the prices jumped very high. I will not show in today's video, but if you're going to your country's website, make sure that the prices are the same. Try to see if Apple increased the prices or not. On the iPhone, we got cheaper iPhones, but the Mac got quite more expensive. But in the US, it's the same story. If you go into the 16-inch MacBook Pro, you have only the M3 Pro and the M3 Max options. The M3 Pro is about the same price as you get $24.99 for the base model, which I don't think it's a pretty good deal because of these 512 GB of storage. I would upgrade on this model. I will select this model, then go into the configuration page and choose not 32 GB of RAM, and choose 1 TB of storage. And that will put you at $2,700. I wouldn't upgrade further than this if you like the 16-inch computer and you want the base model. You don't need more performance than this, then upgrade at least to 1 TB of storage. It's almost essential that you do so. Other than that, the 36 GB option, I don't think it's a good one. And then you have more upgrades for the M3 Max. But this M3 Max, if you select this one, this is the base model, and you only have, I don't know, 30-core GPU, 16-core, 14-core, CPU, and 14-core CPU with more cores than the M3 Pro, which means now we get a more powerful CPU on the M1 Max. And this is important because if you don't know, before the M2 Pro and the M2 Max, and even the M1 Pro and the M1 Max had the same CPU. So now Apple is making a differentiation between these two computers. The M2 Pro and the M2 Max were the same. Now the M3 Pro and the M3 Max are not. Because, again, 12-core CPU, but if you go to the M3 Max, it's a 16-core CPU on the higher end M3 Max, or the non-binned M3 Max, with a 40-core GPU, 48 unified memory in terms of gigabytes of RAM, 1 TB of storage. This is the base model M3 Max, and it costs you $4,000. It's super expensive, but again, if you select this one and you want to upgrade to 128 gigabytes of unified RAM, 8 terabytes of storage, it will run you $7,200. This is very, very expensive. This is Apple's most expensive laptop ever, but it's a really cool one. And if you take a look at this gallery, you can see that this new space black color is beautiful. Beautiful. I like this color so much. If I had the money, I would upgrade just for this space black color. But currently, it doesn't make any sense. I have the M1 Max MacBook Pro machine, still really, really fast, and it cost me around $3,700, which in today's pricing schedule, I think it's about this machine here with maybe just one upgrade. So yeah, the M3 Max chip with 16 GPU cores, which would run you $4,000. So I don't think you can select my older machine, the M3 Max, and then you have to select, this is weird, with the normal M3 Max, you can get 36 gigabytes of RAM or 96. Really weird. They give you an upgrade path for this. Storage, weird. But it will be around, you don't have the option. Yeah, if you upgrade from the binned M3 Max to the non-binned M3 Max, it will cost you $300 plus the upgrade in RAM, which is $200. So it's $500 more. Be careful when speccing out your new Mac, because this lineup is getting even more complicated and even more strange. I think Apple created a really good machine with a 14-inch base model machine. This one with the M3. Let me just check it out. Yeah, this one with the M3 is a really, really compelling option, this $1,600 base model computer. Other than that, be very, very careful when speccing out your M3 Pro or M3 Max machine. If you want my opinion, I think that the best sweet spot on this lineup might be just the M3 Pro. If you want the performance / value, might be the M3 Pro at $2,400. This 12-core CPU, 18-core GPU, and 18GB of unified RAM with 1TB of storage is the sweet spot for your computer. I think that if you want to buy a MacBook Pro right now, buy this one on the amazing space black color. Let me know in the comments down below which one currently is the best configuration for you. So that was the MacBook Pro lineup. Kind of confusing with a lot of choices. You need to be very, very careful with what you choose. As for the rest of the event, Apple took 20 minutes, 23 minutes with the MacBook Pro, and they took 2 minutes with the iMac. So I will also be very, very fast with the iMac. Apple just released an M3 iMac, nothing more. No changes to the colors, no changes to the hardware. The only thing that I was quite surprised by with the M3 iMac, and to the negative side, is the fact that Apple did not release new USB-C accessories. No new Magic Mouse, no new Magic Keyboard with USB-C. No, Apple is still selling Lightning port accessories to the Mac. This is ridiculous in 2023. The iPhone has switched to USB-C, the iPad is USB-C, the Mac has been USB-C since 2016. Why are you still selling Lightning accessories to the Mac? Doesn't make any sense. Next year, Apple will have to renew these accessories with USB-C so they can sell them on the EU. So, doesn't make any sense to do this at all. I don't understand, really Apple, why? So, that was it for the event. New MacBook Pros, new iMacs, introduction of the M3 chip. A really, really fast one. 30 minutes, in and out, they were done. But the most surprising thing actually about this event was at the end. They showed this saying, shot on iPhone. This event was completely shot on iPhone 15 Pro Max. That was a completely boom moment. Because, oh my god, shot on iPhone. That is so crazy. I've shot 200 of my videos on an iPhone, but now I use my Sony a6700. It's an amazing camera. Thinking that Apple shot its event with a worse camera than mine, oh my god, it just blows my mind. I did not notice one bit. So it just shows you how good the iPhone 15 Pro Max camera really is now with the Apple Pro Log support. So let me know in the comments below if you noticed any difference on that event, because it was so close to actual real camera. They even had drone shots which had the iPhone 15 Pro Max. It was so crazy. And again, I did not shoot this video on a phone because, again, I have a mirrorless camera, but I shot the MacBook review lineup, so when I was actually showing you my screen, and that camera feed on the top was shot on my iPhone. Again, really small one, they probably did not notice it, but all this video was shot on the Sony a6700, so yeah, a better camera than Apple chose to shoot its event. Kinda crazy. So let me know what you thought on the comments down below. For me, the biggest deal here is the 14-inch MacBook Pro with the M3 chip. This new computer is super fast, super cool, with an amazing display, starting only at $1,600. So let me know in the comments below what you think. Drop a like down below, subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys for watching. This has been Tech Consumer talking to you here. Bye bye.